Good people, what's up? What's good? It's your boy Caleb Smith.
It's me, Kimmy Coco.
And you're watching your favorite podcast, Connecting the Dots. And today we got a special guest in the building, our man Pat, the active activist, man. Thank you for coming through.
What up? Thank you.
Yeah, man. You probably been seeing Pat on Cop Watch America on BET, man. Getting some shine finally, man. So how you been lately?
Cool, man. Cool and working, man. Just out here staying in these activist streets.
We see it.
Just staying on the scene and trying to do what I can to make change out here.
Right. Last week, or actually this week, and Kim, she was just talking to you about it, and it was a great conversation. You were at the Trump rally where he was trying to get black people to vote for him. How was that whole experience for you?
Oh, man. So, it was interesting, man. We got inside. First off, it was unorganized as hell.
Wow.
There were two lists, and we didn't know there were two separate lists. So it was a list for people who got like Eventbrite tickets or whatever, and they had a barcode or like a little QR code.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah, to get theirs scanned.
Right.
And then there were people who were just on the guest list who got emails, and man, it was a cluster. Yes. It was a cluster F.
Right.
So I end up getting there. I'm in the line for the barcode tickets. I don't got that. I didn't even know they had sent me an email. I got to walk way around the Georgia World Congress Center from the scene between the CNN Center side all the way to the North Side.
Wow.
So it was a lot of calories being burned that day, but it was real unorganized.
Yeah.
But once we got in there, the general vibe was cool. I think people realized that we were not Trump supporters, but
I think they noticed.
Yeah, we were being real cordial and having good conversations. City got hemmed up by the Secret Service a few times.
Yeah,
they definitely. Somebody had tipped him off that he was.
I was about to ask
disrupt.
you that. Yeah. So how did they even know who you guys were, and especially somebody like City as well?
Well, City had on a jacket and a T-shirt that said "Being black is not a crime."
So he already gave it away with that.
So
how do you feel about it, Pat?
I mean, it's one of those things, man. City is a kind of known dude. I mean, he is a radio personality, and he's
been on the show.
Yeah, he's a fair guy, and he interviews everybody.
Yeah.
So one of the people that he's interviewed is some like local Republican big shot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Saw him there.
Okay. So all that connected.
Bam.
Gotcha.
Oh, that dude is up to no good,
Yeah.
and they were hemming him up ever since. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are lost, and you may be wondering what we're talking about, Trump had a Blacks for Trump rally here in Atlanta at the Georgia World Congress Center on Friday. Blacks for Trump is not something that you probably heard before, but this was kind of like a test.
Yeah.
So they actually bussed people in. The only person that I saw that I recognized his face was the dude with the wavy hair, and he's on every Trump rally. He's the only black guy in the background with a sign that says Blacks for Trump. So he's kind of like the face of it.
He's the face for Blacks for Trump.
He's the mascot of.
He's the mascot
coonery
of
for Trump.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. He's
Call it what it
always
is.
at every rally.
Yeah, call it.
If you, I looked him up. He used to be some sort of a conspiracy theorist in the past. He's just looking for attention, and he's getting it because they're using him. And it's not hard. If attention is what you need as currency, you can find anybody to stand up for in whatever arena you want, right? So he's done that, and he's made himself popular in the face of it. So Atlanta
made a lot of money yesterday
and
Friday.
The local activists, such as yourself, came together, and I want to say we, but I'm going to say they for the sake of the show. Some of them, us / went and like RSVP for tickets, had no intention on showing up, just to, fill up the need for them or the demand for them, just and have nobody show up like 50 Cent did to Ja Rule sort of shit, right?
And it worked.
So, okay. But I don't think so many people showed up actually, right? There were more than you anticipated.
So, I mean, the way that they shut down the whole Georgia World Congress Center, I thought the masses just were going to be there. He didn't even, like, I'm a brand ambassador too, so I've set up a lot of events inside the Georgia World Congress Center, so I know how huge those rooms are. I've set up boat shows and car shows and different stuff. So, I'm thinking he got one of these big, huge rooms with the columns and everything. Right. No, he had like a little back room, like the side room when they have like the conferences and stuff. Just for the media. So they said it was like 400 seats or something set up in there. Yeah, only 400 people got in out of all those people he basically pulled the club scam on Atlanta. Okay. Keep the line looking long to make it look like the club is popping.
So he had more people standing outside than were actually inside, only because he did not get a room that could have held the capacity for the people that were outside. So he did that on purpose.
He definitely did that on purpose. And like you already said, the majority of the black people who were there were not local Atlantans at all.
They bust people.
Yeah, people came from Savannah, from Florida, from all over. Yeah, I mean,
they look like they went to the homeless shelter and got some.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
they had white people there, which I was kind of concerned about the amount of white people there. There was a lot of white people there.
It was about 80-20. It was 80% black. I mean, it was a nice chunk of non-black folks there, but I mean, it's one of those things. Like we went, with the expectation of getting inside, trying to stay pretty calm and letting him get all hyped up and then disrupting. And then we also wanted to see who else was there just to disrupt because
when they leave, we're still going to be here and you're going to be here with us. And we know you were at this thing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Trump's people aren't going to be here to protect you when you have to talk to us and answer to us while you're standing up in that line.
Yeah.
So, on the other side of town, there was a Trump protest. Mm-hmm. So you guys made it over there.
I mean, it went the other side of town. I guess a smaller action had happened up in Buckhead, like because he was staying at the Ritz-Carlton.
Okay, so President came in to Cobb County, and the Vice President came here, and they went. He came to that. I think Pence went to a fundraising event in Buckhead, which he later joined him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they had the traffic slowed up. So it wasn't far from where you guys were, where the real rally was, where the real protest was. So you guys could walk from.
Yeah, the rally where the protests were with the other cast members and Griggs and Queen Najah and a lot of other people, Alliance for Black Lives, the Atlanta Alliance for Social Justice, the anti-fascist groups, all those people.
They were always fun to protest with.
They were right there at the corner between CNN Center and Centennial Olympic Park.
So that's not
far. Yeah, they were right there on the other side of the block. We just walked and met them.
So to let people know, the protest was deliberately placed on the other side of the Georgia World Congress Center so that the Trump train couldn't see them.
Yeah, basically, I mean,
they put that outside of the route he was going to take so that he wouldn't see them.
I mean, I think we would have liked to be in the way, but it was so many cops and so much, like, they shut the sidewalk down. Well, like, you weren't going to get over there.
They did that on purpose.
Yeah, they were bringing in all the VIPs and Trump and all the black bigwig Republican celebrities. They were bringing them in through Northside Drive, and Northside Drive was Northside Drive was shut down. So if you weren't going into the Georgia World Congress Center, you was gonna have to move around. So yeah, even us standing on the block when we were on the side of the street with the Georgia World Congress Center, the cops came and made us move to the grass where the big Olympic statue is with the gymnast dude. Yeah, they made us move to the middle, and some of the anti-us people, the Trump supporters, stayed on the Georgia World Congress Center side. A few of them trickled over, and that's what we were talking about. Yeah, we had a few little flare-ups, but
it is what it
we handled
it.
So
on our Instagram page, you'll see the altercation that happened. Go to CTD_ATL on Instagram, and I reposted one of City's posts, and you'll see him.
Be the peacemaker, man.
Trying to break up some, there was some talk going back and forth, and there's some talk going back and forth on Instagram. On our Instagram page, there are some Trump supporters that are like, clearly that wasn't us that was causing the trouble, but whatever. We could see what was going on. I mean, let's not, So, I mean, we have to understand what's going on, right? I mean, the bark is bigger than the bite. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like to make it seem like they're this big group and they have all this support, but in the real world, we know that that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
So you are on Cop Watch America.
Yes.
Everyone, make sure you check out Cop Watch
Most
America.
definitely.
If you can watch Cops since you were 3, and if you could watch now
Live
they have live PD.
Exactly.
And what I like to call propaganda, because they make us, all the shows and make cops look like they're friendly, and they come and they do the nay with the
we
kids.
love you. We're
and
here for
you
your,
know what I'm
for your
saying?
benefit.
And you see them out there throwing the ball, and
Yeah.
it's like, be careful.
Yeah.
I understand that they should try to build trust with the community, but not on the face. Try to build trust with the community by having proper training and proper interaction with folks.
Correct.
Okay.
Community engagement.
Community
That's what it's
engagement
Yeah.
and training. So, Cop Watch America. Make sure you tune in. It comes on kind of late. I know.
Yes.
I'm an OG, and I'll be in bed by then. But sometimes I have to take a nap, and then I turn it on.
You gotta get ready
I have
for
to
it.
set my alarm. So, Cop Watch is a great show, and it shows activists in New York and in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they go out and they make sure that the cops are interacting fairly, and if they're not, that they have a recording. Because we know from the past that the cops may or may not have on their body cams, right?
Yeah,
And
may
that's
or may
fine.
not, definitely.
You cannot have it on, but we got
Got a phone.
sis that was
Yeah.
riding by pulls her phone out.
Hey, and that's basically it. That's what we, a big thing that I try to tell people again. We're not asking you to get out there and be
Like
combative
you
with the
guys,
cops or
yeah.
try to act like you Billy Badass. Like, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just asking you to stay in the cut somewhere,
Help.
pull your phone out
Yeah.
and record, because you could be the critical piece that keeps somebody alive at the most, or at the least keep somebody from going to jail, or even helping somebody get out of jail that shouldn't have went to jail in the first place. So video evidence is key, especially in this age of social media.
Correct.
Things don't go viral unless there's video. Pictures
Yeah.
don't go viral like video goes viral.
Yeah.
We can have every detail of a messed up interaction between cops and citizens from start to finish, but if we don't have that video to play, people will be like, "Oh, that's messed up," but that'll be it. They'll read it, but that'll be
push
it.
on. Yeah.
A video's gonna spread.
Yeah.
Stories don't spread. Text don't spread. Videos spread.
That's a fact.
And like we always say, a critical part of the civil rights movement was pictures. A critical part of the civil rights movement was when Dr. King let reporters and photographers come in, which they weren't really reporters, they were just people that had cameras, which,
Yeah.
now we have camera phones. But they came and they took pictures of the marches, the rallies, the hosing, the dogs.
Yeah.
And until they had actual visual, people heard about what was going on.
It makes it
And they
real.
could read about what was going on. But until the people in the North saw what the Jim Crow laws were doing to the people in the South,
Yeah.
they really weren't
Change your perspective.
moved. It
Yeah.
changed their perspective. So, we
I got a
know.
question. Talking about perspective. What's the episode? It's been 4 or 5 episodes now.
We
This is
we
the
three. The
third
fourth
one,
one
yeah.
is this Wednesday.
Coming up. Okay.
So have you seen, like, I guess, do you feel like the show is making an impact? Have people been reaching out? Have you seen like a difference since the show came out?
Oh, definitely. There's been an impact immediately here locally. When APD is having meetings about you and your cast members, saying when they on the scene, be on your best behavior.
Wow.
And it's unfortunate that that's the
Well,
case.
good.
But I know. But what does that say about your
You're self-policing.
Yeah,
Or you're
and
self-policing.
it's unfortunate. It's like you shouldn't have to have a meeting to say be
Be
a
on your
good
best
cop
side.
when they on the scene. You should
right.
be a good cop when I'm not on the scene. You should be a good cop all the time. But we got people that are reaching out, that are interested in learning how to cop watch. People that want to get out and start going cop watch with us when we get out on the weekends or whatever night that we end up doing it. So yeah, people have to know this is a thing, because people don't understand what it is, and people are afraid because they don't know the rules involved and how you do it in a safe manner.
Yeah.
Like, people look at City or people look at Kim in New York like, oh man, Kim be popping off at the
Kim
cops.
is the truth.
Oh, man.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Kim.
Yeah, Kim
Cop
K,
Watch,
Kim
New
Possible.
York.
Yeah. So people be looking at Kim and City and like they're the ones that turn up
And
on
they're
the
fiery.
show.
Yeah.
Me and Luis or me and Jose, we are the
I love Jose.
Yeah, we
He's
are
such
the
a
calm
sweetie.
ones. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. You need that balance, because
Yeah.
people need to see there's multiple ways to do it.
It's not just one.
Do what you feel comfortable and safe doing. Like, I do what I feel is effective and safe.
Yeah.
And You know?
Okay, let me ask you a question. For anybody that's interested in doing any cop watching, what is the distance that you have to stay away from the scene of a police interaction with a person?
So my thing is 10 feet. I say you stay 10 feet. If you 10 feet away, there's no reason for a cop to feel threatened or like you're trying to intervene or prevent their investigation.
Right.
And again, it comes with your temperament. Yeah, the more calm you are, the closer you can stand. So, but I don't come within the 10 feet range. But I mean, if you're in 10 feet and you being loud and you turning up at the cops, they probably gonna come and be like, "Look, we need you to get back." Because a cop, they'll tape off a whole block.
Yeah.
This happened right here on this little 3-foot square.
Mike Brown was like that. Yeah.
They'll tape off the whole block because now you're doing too much. Oh, you contaminating my scene. My crime scene. So, I think 10 feet. 10 feet or more minimum. Don't be in the cop's bubble. If you're not being aggressive, there's no reason for the cop to be like, you need to leave. Like, no, I'm going to stand right here and I'm going to watch what y'all doing.
I feel that. And Pat, do you feel like we're getting desensitized somewhat from seeing people die so much or, learning about so many people dying? Because I remember with Tatiana Jefferson in Dallas, after that one happened, I could see that people were hurt, but at the same time, people weren't as mad per se because, like, we saw that case, Botham Jean, like all these people. And it's constantly happening every single year.
I see both. Like the equilibrium has not changed, but I see more people getting mad, and I see more people being just numb to it.
Yeah, right.
Because like in Fort Worth, where Tatiana Jefferson happened, they were about to turn up. Like when you have the black church. And the preachers coming out like, hey, y'all better handle this, or it's gonna be hell in the streets.
And the preachers are the ones usually that's trying.
Yeah, that mayor was like, I bet, and it didn't even take a week, and the dude was arrested on murder charges.
That's right.
So that right there is some kind of a showing of the progress. When the right people get mad, you're gonna see accountability.
Right.
But it takes either certain key people. Or it just takes a large enough amount of the masses. And
that's right.
My goal is to try to have both. I don't want either or. I want the masses to be mad and I want the key people to be mad so we can get justice swiftly like that all the time.
And then speaking on that, do you feel like that the church has to be more involved?
Definitely. I mean, the black church, attendance is down, memberships is down, tithes paying, all that dues and all that is down. But the black church still has a certain level of influence in the black community.
Correct.
And if you're dealing with an older generation, because there's still a lot of older black people who are, devout Christians and go to church on a regular basis multiple times a week. Those pastors and those preachers and reverends and those religious leaders have to reach their congregations because we got social media, but how many old folks is using Instagram and Twitter and Facebook like that? They may be on Facebook, but they only on Facebook to communicate with family. They're not pictures in there. Yeah, they're not on there to be keeping up with what's the newest. Somebody got killed around the corner. I mean, they may see it on the news, but whatever doesn't make the news, they don't know about. So we need those religious leaders to be social justice warriors in their, to their pulpits. And I mean, again, we're not asking them they don't have to come out here and stand in the streets with us. We're not telling you to put your body on the line. We're just telling you, at the very least, spread awareness. Right. Get the message out there because the more people know, the more people will know. And that's all,
Just to let people know, the First Amendment gives you the right to record police officers.
That's right. If a cop tells you here in Atlanta, in the state of Georgia, period, if a cop tells you you cannot record, you can sue and you probably will get paid. Wow. People have been getting paid because cops have been telling them they do not have the right to record. That's a lie. It has been changed in the state law where cops are not allowed to tell you cannot record them. So
the law in 38 states, the law in 38 states plainly allows citizens to record police as long as you don't physically interfere with their work. Police may still unfairly harass you, detain you, or confiscate your camera. They might even arrest you for some misdemeanor such as obstruction of justice or disorderly conduct. So be careful. And I think the 10 feet rule is good because if you need to run, you're already 10 feet away.
Like I say, again, if you 10 feet away, you're being quiet, all you doing is recording.
Stand out the way.
How do you catch a disorderly conduct charge? That's hard. Your camera is proving you weren't being disorderly. And if they have their body cam on like they're supposed to, it's going to prove you weren't being disorderly. So
shout out to Attorney Griggs and all the legal,
Justice Fighter.
The legal people that defend people that get into this kind of stuff, because I think we need to know who in your area locally is a lawyer that is fighting for social justice,
civil rights attorneys.
You should definitely know who your local civil rights attorneys are. And they're underappreciated, undervalued, and I think that there are so many now that have gained popularity that have kind of like taken advantage of the fact that people kind of lean on them
and take money.
And they become more popular than say another. But I think everyone should take it upon themselves to find out who your local civil rights attorney is. Right. You don't always have to go to Lee Merritt and what's his name?
It's for.
Hey, I ain't even trying to knock him.
I know. I feel
I'm not trying to knock him.
We have talked about this. Like they're understaffed,
right?
And we hope that people looking at the show, black lawyers
like
and non-black lawyers, but we just hope that more people take an interest in being civil rights attorneys. But you got Crump, Lee Merritt, Gerald Griggs, and freaking Chris Stewart.
There's another one.
Know the roster.
Your lawyer's lawyer. She was the attorney for the family of the young man that was shot coming out of that general convenience store in front of his family. Let me get you her name.
Oh, don't forget, shout out to Tanya Miller. She's here locally. But we need more. And the thing is with these civil rights attorneys, right? At the most, they may take 8-10 cases a year. How many people out here getting beat up, brutalized, arrested?
Her name
it's
is
not enough.
Michelle Rayner Goolsby.
Oh yes, okay, I know that name.
Yeah,
wow. Okay,
yeah, she's a civil rights attorney.
Okay,
that's a very good point. I never thought about that.
Yeah, the workload is stupid. They're understaffed, so that's why there's so many cases that go unheard about. Because again, it's like I said, you may have the story, may have a little bit of photo evidence, but who's the lawyer out here pushing it? It's like shout out to Sean King, but he can't keep up with everything.
Okay.
Hey, let's talk about that because we were actually talking about that on Thursday. You can go in, Kim.
I need people to understand something. Shout out to Sean King, and I appreciate everything that he's done. I was a part of a few of his teams initially when I lived in Houston, and we were on board with a couple of his things. He gets all your information. There's a set of things that you need to do. There's team set up. Right. He's a great organizer. He's also a father of 5 with a career, and he's become this thing he's taken on. I think he takes on too much sometimes. Some of the things that he told you to do, I'm so happy he told you to do them because no one else is doing that, right? But at the same time, empower people to know that, look, you don't need somebody to tell you if there's something that you see that's going wrong in your city, in your state.
You need to do
call
something.
The governor, call the mayor, call your local leaders, your city council people. You don't need somebody to have to tell you that. Right. As an American, as a citizen, as a person, you have some I can never say this
inalienable rights.
Thank you. So, and I appreciate everything that he does, but you guys need to kind of take some accountability as being citizens and kind of step up sometimes.
But see, I will say this. I agree with you, but the thing is, it's what you're talking about is civics. And people are not taught civics anymore. People don't know.
Oh my God.
People don't know how to do these things.
We did used to have civics in school.
We grew up knowing that. They taught, especially in Texas, we learned state government and student government.
Because they teach you as a part of growing up in Texas, one of the classes that you have, which obviously
take Texas government, U.S. government.
History.
And that too,
Period.
Wow. It's a class like Texas.
Texas history it's a part of your
it's like its own country.
Your required curriculum. Yes.
And when you go, you cannot travel with 1 mile in Texas and not see a Texas flag. You are a Texan you are raised to be a Texan. Historical markers
every 100 feet.
You are raised to be a Texan from the minute you enter the school system. And it's like another country. And they have been some plans to secede from the United States and Texas. And there's a whole bunch of people in that government that would love to. And the government that they have right now, the laws that they pass in the state are kind of different. Speaking of Texas, I talk about Texas all the time.
Okay.
I try to tell people how it is there. And I get so much pushback because people
Texas
don't.
Born and raised. Let's go.
People don't.
You got a cosign today.
Yeah, people don't get it, and I have a real problem with people. I have a problem with the NFL. That's a whole nother. That I say I have to mention this every week because every time I come in here, they got this thing on TV, and I try to tell them about it, but. I don't know who it was that said, sometimes when we try to boycott something, we try to boycott something too big, right? Mm-hmm. The NFL, maybe everyone's not ready to boycott the NFL, but maybe we should say, okay, we're not going to go see the Cowboys because Texas is doing some fucked up shit. I mean, how much more? I get it, everybody's on the Rodney Reed thing, but this started for me from Sandra Bland. And then it went from that to like Botham Jean. Then it went from that to a Tatiana Jefferson. Then it went to that to now it's like free Rodney Reed. When is everybody gonna wake up one day and be like, yo, what the fuck is going on in Texas?
But see, this is the thing, and I say this too, and sometimes I get pushback, but sometimes more people understand this and agree with me than not. When you look at the map of America, and you see where black people and other people of color are the loudest and the most angry.
Right.
You see, it's like a bowl shape.
It's in the South.
It's a bowl shape. So the West Coast is hot. California always, Panthers, they always been hot.
Yeah.
You got Arizona, New Mexico, they're people of color, they're Mexican people, Spanish-speaking population, the Native American population, they're loud. Then you get over here to the Southeast. You have Georgia, which has always been loud, the so-called cradle of civil rights. Florida has gotten a lot louder since they've had some stupid landmark cases happening down there. And then, of course, up on the eastern seaboard, you got a little bit of South Carolina, North Carolina. But with the whole Charlottesville thing and the Dylan Roof situation, that turned on the Carolinas. So when you look at the map, there's a big dead spot in the middle of the country. And Texas is the cause of that. People get mad when I say this. So as Texas does, Louisiana and Oklahoma will do.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a very close connection between those three states.
Because the black culture or lack thereof in Texas is in Texas for that area. Because Oklahoma,
exactly,
Louisiana, it's like if you're not
Creole,
in New Orleans,
it's Cajun,
like,
but that's it.
Well, where are you from?
I mean,
real?
if you're not from New Orleans, and New Orleans is very, very protective of their culture. Like if you live in Baton Rouge,
they
better not say you from New Orleans.
Like DC, there's people up there that they don't even like the DMV. People from Oxon Hill and different. No, we didn't come up with the DMV. Y'all came up with that. We different. I'm like, what?
You can't even say if you're from Baton Rouge that you're from New Orleans and it's like 45 minutes away. Like they are very, very protective of their culture.
That's strange.
But again, I really want them to get fired up. But like we said, you are indoctrinated from the time you're in school to be a Texan and to pledge your allegiance to that state and to the government and to the football team and to the college and to everything.
And so let me speak on that as somebody who was a premier athlete. Token black Texan. That's it. Token black Texan from elementary school till I graduated. Was a Boy Scout, captain of the football team, anchor leg on the track team. Like I did everything. I was the token Negro. AB honor roll student all my life. I was, as you say, I was a Texan. I knew what racism was, but my family was not political, so to speak. We did the basic stuff. Hey, you black. People got benefits. We got people that's poor. You vote blue down the line if you want the benefits to keep coming. You like the food stamps. You like that Section 8. So, okay, this is what it was. But I did understand the rule book for us, the unwritten rules. I knew what the green book was and what the code was and how I was to behave.
You don't go to Waller County. You don't go to but like why would you live like that?
I knew how to act around. I guess this is how my family told me. Any white person you be around could be the Klan. Act accordingly. And that was always something as a young black man, I just knew that growing up. But all that to say, why is Texas so calm? It's because black people are so comfortable. And it's unfortunate. It's like there's so many, and these stats go uncounted. But I'm gonna put the business out. You got a lot of dope money in Texas. Yeah. You got a lot of dope millionaires in Texas. And they look like us, and they live in the suburbs, and they feel.
Not to mention, you could get a very nice house for like $80,000 in Texas.
Exactly, like you're getting twice the house for the same price minimum that you're getting in metro, Atlanta type areas. So we talking Katy, Houston, everything outside of Dallas, Fort Worth, outside of San Antonio, what we call a corridor between San Antonio and Austin. Like land is cheap, houses are cheap, and they're big. So they're living good. They making this money. They already dirty. So they don't want to get out here. And even though these people who are making these undercover millions, they're the community leaders. Y'all the ones that everybody know. They know you got it, and they know how you getting it. You have the pool in your community, but you're not willing to put yourself under the microscope or the spotlight because of what you do. So that's what it is. When the hood stands up in Texas, when the hustlers in Texas stand up and they get mad and be like, look, all right now, cops is getting out of hand, these laws and these whatever getting out of hand, things will change. But until then, you're gonna keep it's gonna keep taking these kind of tragedies like something that's blatant. And that's the crazy thing. I would have thought that the Pam Turner killing was horrible enough in Freeport, Lake Jackson. That was
Charles. Oh, was it in Texas?
It's Lake Jackson is like down south of Houston. But it's the beach basically. Like I thought that was blatant enough. Like the woman said she was pregnant, she wasn't. But
that was her in Beaumont. Yeah, but that was in Beaumont.
No, it was in Lake Jackson. Oh, yeah, not Beaumont. It was in Lake Jackson. So that for her to say that, to just try to get out of that situation with this cop that already knew her. Like she wasn't a stranger to this cop. And how dangerous was she? But you pulled your pistol out and put however many bullets in her. Like,
and when you look at if you Google it right now and see how many people showed up at that protest, it was like 20 people there.
That's the problem.
And see, that's the same thing. Like here, like unfortunately, that's the country. Yeah. That's rural. So it's like you said. Well, we gonna raise hell and get loud, but then what happens when all y'all leave? Because we still out here in Klan country. Because it's very real. And
y'all said that on the show.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. People are still scared. We see it here, Noonan, Coweta County, Hall County.
That's 10 minutes from my house.
Noonan. Yeah.
Noonan is, and Pat, quick story. Noonan is like 10 minutes up for me. Peachtree City. It's like 10, 15 minutes away. A lot of people don't know this, but growing up, right outside of my neighborhood is Tyrone Veterans Park, and it's a Confederate park. They have Confederate flags swinging. I can't tell you how many times that people that I've known, myself as well, that we've been pulled over in our own neighborhood asking why we here, what we doing here. And you said something on the show that actually struck me, and me and Kim, we spoke about it on Thursday, where you said in Houston and in Texas as a whole, activism isn't the same as it is over here. But what do you think it's going to take for us to be serious, even in Atlanta and Texas as well? Because Kim, you were just at which rally? It was like 2 weeks ago. You were at a rally, I think, downtown. And I remember when you were expressing how you wish that more people were at the rally.
That was the Day of Outrage.
That's what it was. That's what it was. So from you, Pat, someone that's in the trenches, what does it take for us to wake up?
Man, I really have to say at this point, I don't know. Like I've seen so many just grossly atrocious incidents of injustice that I thought would be the breaking point for us.
Yeah, like,
I thought Tamir Rice was gonna be the breaking point.
Right.
I thought Ayanna Stanley Jones was gonna be the breaking point. I thought Eric Garner was gonna be the breaking point. But like especially with the kids, like they're killing our kids, and y'all ain't
going
mad
inside
yet.
The house too.
Yeah, they killing. But see, that was the thing with Tatiana Jefferson. Like I feel like people are going out of their way to make excuses to not have to wake up and get serious about things. Because with Tatiana Jefferson, there was no excuse to have. This woman had every right to be in her house strapped to come to her window and investigate the noise in her backyard, and she died for it.
And where's the NRA when people are strapped in their home and they're black and they are nowhere to be found, and
we're talking about gun rights, Kim. We're talking about gun rights.
The NRA, what people need to understand is the history of the NRA and how they actually got started back in the day. I think the day after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, they started under a different name, and all they have done is change the name
and
the cover.
And then too, one of the biggest things what people don't talk about, the NRA, they were actually proponents for gun control when the Black Panther Party had guns.
Of course.
So they wanted
because
guns taken away.
They all showed up at the state buildings with their guns, and they didn't want the black people to have that kind of power.
That's right.
So it's like, you know, you have to really pay attention to stuff like that. And you have to find out who your local activists are and help them out. I mean, I understand that everybody doesn't want to be on the front lines. There's social activism. There's art. There's so many different ways. We had another guest on the show, the occasional superstar, and he was doing the Kaepernick murals. Fabian is an activist. He may not be on the front lines.
That's a good point. It's different ways to be an activist.
Different ways to be an activist.
That's
and
real.
you know, you may be on your way to the store, and you may see a cop pull somebody over. There's nothing wrong with pulling over and just recording it to make sure the person feels safe, because, you know, just like Queen Yanaz, she was another guest on the show before, and she was saying, you know, as a single black woman, it's scary out here. I mean, imagine a Tatiana Jefferson in her house by herself.
With her nephew.
With no man around.
Late at night, too.
And having somebody come to her house and having to defend herself. Like that. Like, you know, if there's a woman in your neighborhood, there's so many ways that we have to get this thing done. It's going to take everybody. It's going to take people like you. It's going to take people like you. People like everybody. I mean, just checking on your neighbor. That's a single mother in the neighborhood. Hey, if you ever need anything, here's my number. Hey, if you need anything you need from the store. We have to get back to a sense of community.
The village, man. We got to bring the village back.
We got to bring the village back. I mean, look out for each other. Everybody's in such a hurry to outdo each other and one up each other. It's not going to work like that.
I don't even think that it's just that. That's a big part of it, but I feel like it's way deeper. It's this era of privacy. It's my business. Don't mind yours. Don't mind mine. But it's like, you say that until I hear you screaming and it's gunshots over here busting at your house. Then it's my business. Now I'm supposed to come intervene. But until then, when I see that you may be doing something that you could be doing better, or that your kids out here acting, a certain kind of way, bringing attention to themselves. Like, I don't want the cops to come knocking on your door for nothing. That's not a super emergency, like that you don't explicitly want them to be there for. So don't tell me as a concerned citizen, like as your concerned neighbor, as your brother, it's not my business. But you have people like that. I mean, I kind of look at myself like, in where I live, I'm kind of like the OG. I'm the, people know what I do. I'm a vet. People recognize me in the community. So like in my building, I'm like a building father. So when things turn up, I holler at people. I tell people, y'all will see it in the show. My approach is real simple. I'm like, look, I'm not nobody daddy. I'm not nobody boss.
I respect you for even starting.
Yeah, like I just, I just want to let you know. Yeah, like I don't. It's getting kind of loud. You don't want the laws over here all up in your business. Whatever y'all doing, can y'all, kind of squash that? And that's how I do it. I keep it cool, but it's all about the approach, your presentation, how you come off to people. They can be like, well, I appreciate you, big homie, blah blah blah. But like, some people don't have the temperament to take that kind of role and do that thing like that. So, it's a skill that I have. So
and then too, I mean, in those situations, you don't call the cops. And I think with Tatiana's case is her neighbor, and I get it because it was 3:00 in the morning or 2 when he called the cops. He just wanted to check on her. He said it was a non-emergency, but how do we even avoid having to call the cops? So
this is my thing. At the end of the day, like I say, I'm a veteran. I have a certain skill set.
So you're already used to certain situations.
I'm walking. If that's how I feel, and I have a speaking relationship with this, somebody in my neighborhood, my neighbor, across the street neighbor, whatever. I'm getting strapped, and I'm walking over there myself, and I'm checking. That's first. I'm going up cautiously. Hey, I'm knocking. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all all right over here? She come to the door. Oh yeah. Hey, it was just hot. We was just catching the breeze. Blah. Okay, cool. I'm going back home. But I'm not looking at that. My first reaction is not to call the cops. Right. There's been times I've called the cops in my apartment complex one time, and it was in a week where it was a pretty hectic week. There was 2 shootings. I didn't call the first shooting. I said, okay, I'm waiting for the sirens. I'm trying to see who else called. Nobody called the first night. I said, okay. So the second night, it happened to be right in front of my apartment. Somebody busted something big, a 45 or 40 or something. I'm talking about these was loud gunshots, multiple gunshots. I said, okay, I'm calling the cops tonight. On this night, I called. A bunch of people had called. They was like, oh, we already got the call. We on the way. So outside of things like that, if I hear somebody screaming, my thing is first to go investigate, because I'm not afraid to go investigate, and I know how to behave to where hopefully the cops don't get on the scene and think I'm the culprit. Right. And then that's my other thing. Yeah. As y'all see me, I love to stay bright. Yep. I stay bright. I got my reflective vest. I go outside, I'm wearing something highly visible, so you don't have the excuse to be like, well, we didn't know who he was and he looked suspicious. No, I'm wearing a bright reflective vest. I want you to know I'm here, and I want people to know I'm here to help and diffuse whatever situation is going on, because hopefully if this can be handled and nobody has to die or go to jail, we've all done a good thing. And yeah, that's my goal.
So is there anything good we could look forward to coming up on Cop Watch?
What do you mean when you say good?
I don't know.
What is good? I mean,
is there anything like, is there like, oh my God, my favorite episode is coming up. Do you have a favorite episode?
Yeah, I got a favorite episode coming up.
Did it come on yet?
No, it didn't come on yet.
Oh, okay.
It didn't come on yet. I mean, I'll say it like this. There's a lot of action up and coming, man. The season is just heating up. Like, last episode, y'all got to see the first real taste of me and City cop watching. But like from here, like nah, it's you gonna see a lot more cop watching come in these upcoming episodes, and it's just gonna be more and more turned up. Y'all about to really love. Like y'all got to see the snippet of Queen turning up at this event, this community outreach event that the Atlanta PD and local police departments have called Clippers and Cops, where every month they go to a different barbershop in the area, and they have a community engagement. Now they control everything. They control the discussion. Yeah, it's a conversation that they may have a moderator, like they could have y'all as moderators. They've had radio hosts as moderators, different moderators. But yeah, they pretty much set the pace. And it's supposed to be community outreach, and we're getting to know the community, and y'all need to know how we feel and blah. No, we don't need to know how you feel. We just need you to follow the damn rules and not kill nobody. I don't give a damn how you feel. If you can't put your feelings, oh, we stressed out and we need this, and we're people too. Well, I need you not to be a person. When you got that uniform on, I need you to be a cop. I need you to be perfect. If you can't be perfect, take that badge off, give that gun back, and say this job is not for me. Yeah, that's it. And but yeah, y'all gonna get to see Queen turn up. Queen is about to turn up, and yeah, we got some.
I saw something about. I think I saw that in the coming attractions for the next episode.
Yeah, it's lit.
So okay, as a person that watches the show, and I don't know if you've been able to take a step back outside of being on the show and just look at it as just a person.
Okay.
Do you see a difference between Atlanta and New York?
The difference. This is the difference. The difference is we are red state and New York is not. The difference is in the gun laws. At the end of the day, cops here, and as I say this too all the time. I say I'm not the biggest dude. I'm 6 foot 220. I'm not the biggest dude. But I have a certain presence when I'm on the scene, and the way that I carry myself. And like I say again, they don't know what these mean. They don't know my record. I'm saying the cops. They know I was in the military. They don't know what I did. They don't know what my skill set is. So they have to approach me in a certain way. And like I say, City, big ex-basketball player. He's bigger than me. Like we have as I call it, I say we got big nigga privilege.
Y'all like the Monstars.
Yeah, I say we got big nigga privilege, and I say then the simple fact that we are in Atlanta and me and City are both concealed carry permit holders, like you don't want to go. You don't want things to turn up with us because it could get deadly. And we both understand that every time we out there on the street, it could be life or death.
You're intimidating, and the cops use that as an excuse that they felt threatened.
Yeah, and it's a double-edged sword. And that's why I say it's about how I carry myself when I'm on the scene. City is the loud one. He gonna turn up. I'm the calm one. I'm gonna watch. But if things get hot, I'm gonna get hot too. But I'm reserved, and that's the main difference that you're gonna see between Atlanta and New York. New York is not a liberal gun state like that. They not strapped. Those cops know that those people, or they assume, they righteously assume that those people are not armed and dangerous. You may have a blade on you at the most, but they not thinking that the average New Yorker is just walking around strapped. These cops here know people is walking around strapped. So you behave differently, and you even see here, like with the cases, the police brutality cases that we have, these cops had enough context clues to take a wild guess that this person probably ain't strapped. The people that they mess with, the people that they knew was strapped,
they try to leave y'all alone.
That's the ones, exactly. They don't mess with you. It could turn up, but you know everybody's cool and they use the appropriate amount of force. But yeah, they're not coming after the dudes they know that got them things and will bust them.
Yeah,
period.
That's real. Do you feel like Mayor Bottom, she should be doing more when it comes to police brutality within our city?
Oh man, yeah, we gonna fire her up on the show. Don't worry, that's coming. We actually fired her up so much that the network actually asked us to tone it down a little bit. City was going in. But yeah, I mean, this is our thing. Like,
City is so funny.
She
if you watch the show, he is so
funny. Yeah, that's my dude.
Yeah.
So she ran, you know, on this promise of, you know, I come from where y'all come from.
My daddy was in jail.
And Atlanta got a mayor named Keisha, and I understand, you know, I'm from the hood and I understand what's going on and what y'all needs are. Okay. So now you have activists who are reaching out to you, asking you to fulfill the promises and you know that you made to get elected, and you don't even want to have conversations with us. So they since she has become mayor and we've really turned up the heat on police brutality, the city calendar doesn't work anymore. We can't see where she's gonna be. We have to find out through some other means when we should be able to go to the city calendar and see the mayor has this meeting on this day. This is her schedule.
Public
blah, blah,
information,
blah.
right?
Nope.
Yeah.
We find out about how her events, just like everybody else, through a flyer or through an Eventbrite ticket or whatever. So we got to show up because you don't want to have a sit down with us. And the few sit downs that she did have were just to say she had a sit down. Nothing came out of that. You just got to say, well, I met with this family. Okay, now what?
And that's one of my biggest things that I hate seeing is with the cops and Clippers, or Clippers and cops, or with people sitting down and having discussions and meetings, but there's no solutions coming out of these things, or even not the Revolt Summit. Like, yeah, it's cool yelling at each other, but I don't. At the end of the day, we need to come in saying, if I disagree and if we disagree, at the end of the day, we got to come out with something out of this discussion. Because if not, we just did it for clicks and views. So how do we start having viable and tangible things coming out of this?
And where do you guys find any local celebrity help? Do you solicit local celebrities to help you guys, or to get more people involved?
We have always solicited. What the response and the results of those solicitation has been limited, but there's no lack of outreach on our part. Y'all will get to see, and it already showed it in one of the trailers for upcoming. Like, JD. I mean, he's JD thing. JD don't claim to be an activist. He's somebody. He's like, I don't got nothing to do with this. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna entertain. I'm gonna make my money.
You guys turned Gip around though.
Well, but that's what I don't think Gip had to be turned around. I think Gip was somebody who always was already on squad. He just needed to know what kind of lane. What are y'all asking us?
Right.
Because and that's the thing with a lot of the celebrities here. 2 Chainz said it. DC Young Fly said it. They told this to us years ago when if y'all remember when they did the big Ricky Smiley sit down where David Banner and Life Jennings almost got in a fight.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
We were there. That was when I was the VP of Black Lives Matter Greater Atlanta and was still dealing with.
That was like 2016, 2017.
At the beginning of 2016. So 2 Chainz told us, DC Young Fly told us, they were like, we want to be involved, but the thing that is holding us back or is stopping them is they don't see enough organization and they want to know who they could trust.
And that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, do you feel like people like that's not in it like you? Do you feel like people are discouraged? Like, it's just like, man, there's nothing coming from this.
Who do you
like you say, like all this is happening, it's continue to happen, and it seems like nothing is getting done about it. Like, so do you feel like people are starting to get discouraged? Like, man, me getting out and marching is not gonna make a difference. Me protesting is not gonna make a difference.
I don't know, man. I can't say that because I feel like this show hopefully is gonna change the culture because, you know, activism, it had a time when it was cool. Like people did it like it was a faddish. Like the whole BLM movement, it was great. It was a lot of energy, but where did that energy go?
Yeah, there were too many people that were trying to take the helm
and that's what happened. This is what happened to Black Lives Matter.
You got personal experience with that.
Exactly. I watched it from the beginning to the end. So Black Lives Matter got. And this is what people say. Well, who do I trust? Well, how do I know what the agenda is? First off, they have to see we got to get one playbook together.
Yeah.
And we all have to run these plays in accordance with this book. Yeah. Once we do that, then the celebrities can look and be like, okay, there's unity. But as long as it looks like everything is fragmented and it's all these little fractions, they don't know who to give their money to, so they're not going to give it to nobody.
That's true. Yeah. When you start talking about money.
That's what happened with Shaun King.
Like, my only setback is because after going to that event, we went to.
Oh yeah, at the panel discussion, that Pat was on.
That guy's name?
Who was the? Oh, Kamani.
Oh yeah, Kamani Sadiq. Yeah.
And like, it really got me thinking. Like, are we really accomplishing anything by openly telling everybody
what we're gonna do?
But see, this is my thing. Like again, me being in the military, formally having a clearance, like I understand how our intelligence works. So at this point, in this age of technology, there's no way for us to get the word of mouth can do a lot, but it can't do it all. So the simple fact that social media is how most of us communicate now, or through our cell phones, like nothing that you do is a secret at this point. Like I used to be on that campaign. Like I say, me and Kamani, like as far as our ideals, when I first got out the Navy, I was 100% that. Man, y'all scared.
You gonna be
y'all don't want to. Y'all don't want to march. I mean, y'all just want to march. These people is killing y'all. Y'all ain't doing exactly. But I'm like, we're not willing to take that. You're not gonna turn in all your technology and go live in the Georgia mountains somewhere. Like, so that's my thing. Like, we have to get to the point where we are so on code and so unified. It doesn't matter what they know. We just have to keep moving. We have to be an insurmountable force. That exactly. The LGBT, like,
even with
like they didn't give a damn. Their plans were never secret. They just said we're gonna be us. Gonna be a lot of us, and we're gonna be loud, and we're gonna get on y'all damn nerves until y'all give us what we want.
And now, as you see, every business has a pride thing, all that now.
Yeah, like
all from their efforts.
Like they showed their ass with the whole NAACP thing. Like, I mean, not NAACP, the NCAA tournament up in what was it, North Carolina?
Oh yeah,
like they showed their ass. They was like,
All-Star game
what? Bathroom bill. Ain't gonna be no basketball game. Ain't gonna be no Sweet 16 tournament.
Why do you feel like? Why do you feel like they're so effective?
Because they don't care if they don't have nothing.
Because we the same way. We just as loud as them. I don't call it crime, but we cry just like they cry. So why do you feel like we're not shutting shit down?
Show and a mockery, in a sense, out of everything that we do, we always have to have this one viral person.
And compete.
We always have to have this person who's competing, who has
it's egos.
And the likes and all that is a sense of like an accomplishment. Like this is my accolades. This is what I've done.
Trying to compete.
Them, they have these quiet people. They're the ones getting the meetings. They're like how you said you guys can't meet with the mayor. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones that are getting in with the mayor. They're the ones that are really accomplishing it, and they're doing it quietly.
Yeah.
So I get I do it, and I just don't like when I see people who are viral and they're making a show of it, because you gotta understand the people that we're going against. These white people we're going with, they're laughing at that stuff. It's funny to them, especially the older. They're laughing at it. You gotta go to social media and go on live and do all of this just to accomplish your goal. So then what happens when social media is gone? Like Instagram. Instagram is flipping everything, and now all of these influencers and all these people that are on Instagram, all their money's about to be gone.
Well, this is the thing about
This is
let me answer one part of that. I think that some people that are people of color have put that underneath being LGBTQ. So you're not feeling like, okay, I don't need to fight this black fight. I need to fight this LGBTQ fight.
But you why is their fight more effective or more important?
Because there are more of them.
Yeah, it's strictly a numbers game. It's strictly a numbers game. At the end of the day, there's more LGBTQ
Because
people
that's
that
not
are
brown,
angry
not
and
colored,
activated
yeah.
and allowed
Yeah,
than
that's
there
real.
are us. Because we have a large portion of our population who are uninformed. Then you have a large portion
That's important.
who are informed but don't give a damn or
Satisfied,
are comfortable
yeah.
for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And then you got us few loud people left. And like you say, that's what they're laughing at. Well, yeah, y'all the few loud people, but y'all ain't gonna change the map because we're cultural. We're cultural, and we have been dealing with it for so long. A lot of us have made our peace with it, and we don't even
That's
think
deep.
that it is possible to change it.
That's deep.
As
Yeah.
far as the LGBT community, no, they not. No,
Yeah, that's
no,
not
it
an
gotta
option.
change.
Yeah.
It better change because like it's scorched earth with them. It's gonna change, or we will, like you said, we will burn everything down. They don't care if everything shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
You want a bathroom bill? What? I can't get married to my spouse. I can't pass my benefits to my spouse. We shutting everything down. And that's how it is. Like just like with the other immigrant groups in DACA, like they're willing to go that far. We have not. The only time we've seen that as black people is during the Montgomery bus boycott.
Yeah, we shut it down.
They was on the verge of bankrupting the state. They had already damn near bankrupted the capital city, and the business base there was like, look, y'all, if these niggas just want to ride where they want to ride on the bus,
So be it.
give it to them. We dying out here. Like it was like 100 businesses had shut down. Bus routes are shutting down. People can't get to work.
They were doing Uber in the
Look at
60s
the
with each other,
attitude
yeah.
of the African American community then, as opposed to now.
Well,
they were
yeah,
like, you
you're
know,
right.
you need a ride, bro.
Hey,
we gonna do Uber in the
You need a
60s.
ride, bro.
Yeah.
I'll come get
It
you.
was a village.
You ride the bus to work. Don't worry about it. Sister May,
She'll pick you up in the
Sister
morning.
Annie Bell,
But look,
and all of them
but-
are going that way. We'll meet you on the
But
corner.
look, so that was for a time, but they even made carpooling illegal. If it was more than 2 black people in the car, y'all was getting pulled
It's
over and
suspicious.
you was going to jail and getting a ticket. But that still didn't stop them. They said, well, I'm not getting back on that bus, so I guess Pete and Joe finna get me there. And I'm talking about people
Yeah,
was
they will
walking the
walk.
soles out their
They will
shoes
walk.
to prove a point to
We don't
get
want to
justice.
give up
treat us like
anything.
that.
We
We're
don't wanna
not,
give up
like I
anything.
said, 381 days they did it. And they
Over a year.
broke, and
Yeah.
and this is the thing I try to tell people. I say that was the most powerful movement we've seen, and they could have asked for anything.
And all
And
they
all
wanted-
they asked was, I'm talking about
seat-
Alabama
a
was
seat
ready
on the
to
bus.
give them whatever they
just
wanted
want a
on a
seat on
golden
the bus.
platter, and they just say, I just want to sit.
And that was just the public
so that's my
transportation
thing.
system.
That's my thing.
We don't have alternatives.
What's our goal? Because
Yeah.
we doing all this hooping and hollering and shit, and now when we get to the table, they be like,
Tangible.
what you want?
But are we
You start
really?
scratching
Yeah,
your
like,
head.
what do we want?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. What is
The
justice?
closest thing
Yeah,
that
that's
I've
a great
seen now
question.
that had to gain the most traction was the NFL boycott. And at some point, they have reached
What was the goal of that? No, that's what
Nothing.
I'm saying. Like,
and
what
Kim.
did we want out of that?
They don't
And look,
see
Ken,
the
hold
point
on,
of
but
having
look,
the NFL
real quick
boycott.
though.
No, I'm saying like, what is the? What,
I've been doing this
I'm telling you,
conversation
like,
for 2 years.
what are we looking to get out
So
of that?
it's okay, yeah.
The doors we want. Like the problem is we don't have the people in the doors we want, and then we get people close to the doors, and they get there and they drop the ball.
And they get comfortable.
Or we
it's
bash
a
them.
pride fest, Now it's
Yeah.
an ego fest. Now it's what I want. It's not what the people want.
That's true.
And now we're friends.
Well,
buddies.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's real.
let's
That's real.
talk about it.
Yeah,
Let's
please
talk
do.
about it.
Yeah,
So
that's a great
with
point.
the whole Jay-Z and the partnership thing.
Yeah.
This is what I say when I say, so, as you said, egos talking about people going viral. Everybody wants to be the one
The number
to
one.
say, I
HNIC,
did it.
yeah.
I did it. It's me. I
Nobody
did
else,
it.
yeah.
So again, Jay-Z didn't sit down with us. Jay-Z didn't sit
He
down.
didn't consult with
He
Cat.
didn't sit down with
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter. He
You're
didn't
right.
sit down with the ACLU. He didn't
You're
sit
right.
down with nobody. Jay-Z said, I'm smart. I know what's going on and I got money. So
I'm a
let me
billionaire.
handle it.
Kanye
I'm going to do what I want to do.
the same way.
Yeah, and this, when people see that, that is what takes the wind out of the sails of the movement. They like, look,
They
y'all-
separate.
and again,
Yeah.
our oppressors will use that and say, well, look, this is y'all biggest
They
celebrity,
agree on
and he don't agree.
But
Yeah,
as playing devil's advocate, even on like the I guess not on the lower, I wouldn't even say lower level, but on a different level than what Jay-Z is playing on. We got people the activists in our community that's
Fighting.
arguing with each other that
Fighting
can't
amongst
even
each
get
other.
on board. So it's like somebody got to
Yeah,
take
egos.
the lead.
Yeah,
Like,
egos.
No.
Yeah.
Like, what the-
Yeah, egos.
What
Yeah.
are we doing? Keisha, look at this. We all pushed her, right? We pushed her to get into that.
But we didn't have an agenda when we pushed her.
Open up
Because
doors
she was
for
black.
them. And she got in there, and what'd she do?
Yeah.
She did what she wanted to do because now she's there.
Jimmy's parents, right? Like she's just ignoring that.
That's
like,
right.
Yeah. And see too, I think what me and Kim, what we were talking about last week, about politics, is that me personally, I feel as though when we vote black, we don't vote black with an agenda. We think just because that person's black, they're gonna look out for us. But not knowing that you have to lobby. You just can't think that somebody's black and I'm gonna look out for you.
I mean, so full disclaimer.
Yeah,
I am a part of the ADOS movement.
I support that.
I'm still. I
support that.
Now I'm an anomaly in the movement because I have not thrown away Pan-Africanism the way that a lot of people have.
And that's okay.
Because I understand that at the end of the
day, got African roots.
we have to win everywhere that we are. Right. We have to win.
Right.
Everybody got to defeat colonialism and racism where they are.
Yeah.
Like ain't no just we gonna come together and then we all gonna stand up and then white supremacy is gonna be over. It's not gonna happen like that.
That's right.
Everybody got to have their individual fights where they are.
Yeah.
So I say that first, but you're exactly right. Like we thought that putting black faces in the right places, in the right spaces, was gonna do enough, and it didn't because that's the thing. Like I say, Dr. Claude Anderson talks about it. What you said,
I love Dr. Claude Anderson.
Lobbying and economics and
that's
buying your politicians. Like
everybody else does it.
Yeah, even if we did, it's like this is the unfortunate thing for us is even if we all voted as a block, all 40 million, whoever you want to include, all 40 some odd million of us. We can't get nothing by ourselves with that 40 million on a federal level. We can't get nothing. Yes, in the local area, state and local, where we are the majority, we can run some things. But as far as countrywide decisions, we have no power unless we can get a bunch of other non-black folks to get on board with us.
And when you say ADOS movement, make people clear, because let me tell you what the government and what a lot of people are trying to do.
Call it a group. They're calling organization.
It people of
it's a lineage.
color.
It's just a lineage.
People of color and ADOS. I need to make a distinction because let me tell you, some of us came here because we wanted to, and some of us came here without a choice.
It wasn't consensual.
Right.
Not as immigrants.
So, some people have taken on the people of color as an all-encompassing thing. Even, what's her name? Tulsi Gabbard. I got into it with somebody on Twitter the other day.
Oh, wow.
And
Kim ain't playing with y'all.
Tulsi Gabbard was on The View, and she was saying, I too am a woman of color that's running. Everybody's talking about Kamala, but I'm a woman of color. And I said, and excuse me, what color would that be? And everybody gave me hell. And I tell you, if you go on my Twitter feed, there has to be at least 2,000 retweets of this tweet.
Wow.
And it said, she's Samoan, so she is a person of color. So apparently anyone that is not of European ancestry is a person of color. In the eyes of the right. In the eyes of the middle America, they think everyone is a person of color. You cannot say that you are a part of my fight as an African descendant of slaves, because my family, not too long ago, I'm only going back 2 or 3 generations, did things for this country for free.
And built it.
For free. For nothing. Yeah. And you know what? You guys came over here and just enjoyed the fruits of our labor and said, we are people of color too.
But only when it's convenient for their rights and for votes and things like that.
Everybody wants to be black, but until it's time to be black. You know what I'm saying?
And we've gotten so freaking soft.
She's
our people took so much pride in being black that was it. You can't be in our circle.
Right.
It was very exclusive.
This is us.
Right.
Who we are. Yeah. I can't go down the street to the Mexican market
and say I'm a person of color.
And say I'm Mexican.
Or I'm a person of color.
You can't go to the Nigerian spot and be like, I'm one of
y'all. That's a deep conversation.
And that's why that's why the distinction of ADOS.
We've been bullied so hard, and our parents' generation.
We want to be accepted.
We've been bullied so hard that we were wrong, and that we need to accept. They don't accept us, but we've been bullied into accepting us because they knew if they start watering it down. Yeah. When I walk on the street, I'm a regular-looking black girl. When a Somalian or a whoever walks on the street, she's exotic. She's different. She's interesting.
Well, I think that's partially our fault, and I think that everything that happens, I blame it on the person it's happening to. And that's just in general in life. And we give everyone a key to our culture. We give everyone a pass to our culture. And, you know, we just like want to water it down. And like we were talking last week about, oh my God, why so many slave movies? You know why? Because fuck you. This is what happened. Yes, they tortured us, they raped us, and we didn't get shit in return. They promised us this, we didn't get it. So, period. Because that's what happened. Period.
But that's not the only thing that happened. And that's the problem. That's part of the bullying tactic. Y'all were only slaves.
You're going to keep you down.
But that's not something that I look at as something to be ashamed of. Like, I was a victim. We were victimized. You can't tell a Jew, what happened to you in the Holocaust. I don't want to see any more Holocaust movies. A Jew would be like, they fucking killed a whole bunch of my family, we want our shit.
Specifically, because I wanted to come in on the ADOS and then clean that up.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ADOS, right? American Descendants of Slavery. She's exactly right, and this is why I say I'm not anti-Pan-African. I got a lot of immigrants that I rock with heavy, and they understand what the different justice claim is, but there's a need for specificity at certain times. There's a time when, all right, this is my house, and then this is my community, and then this whatever. But like, there's needs to group things sometimes. This is one of those times when you're looking at the data, and like you say we give people the key to our culture. I think we were so damaged that one of the promises that was made to us, the original reparations that we were supposed to have when affirmative action actually got passed, you know, on a federal level, what started happening was, well, white society has always figured out a way to cheat us out of what was owed to us. And that's what happened. So yes, affirmative action was made for ADOS people specifically, with that in mind when it was written. But then, now we gonna say y'all a minority too. Basically, everybody that wasn't a white man became a minority after it was passed. So then this is how affirmative action works, right? And this is how they do their divide and conquer strategy. They like to take us and play us against each other. So growing up in Texas, I see this a lot. You have a lot of Africans, especially in Houston area.
Nigerians.
Yes, Nigerians.
There's more Nigerians in Houston than there are in Nigeria.
For real? Oh, you just saying it?
No, Google it. Google it.
Yeah. So I had to think about that.
There's more Nigerians in Houston than there are in anywhere else, like in this country.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, but you see how the system plays us against each other, because whether it's at every level, at school, in the workforce, they will like to say, the oppressor class will like to say, well, look at Stephen Olajuwon over here. He doesn't complain, and he's just happy, and America's great, and blah, blah, blah. And you over here complaining. And I'm like, well, I should be complaining. Exactly. Yeah, this is great from what he left. His people left. They saw this as the land of opportunity. We built this, and we don't even get the benefit from it. So what they will do, what they started doing with affirmative action, right? And this was all an effort to prove, affirmative action doesn't work. See, you're making us give these undeserving black people these jobs and these positions they don't deserve. I say it like this. Somebody could be, all us could walk in the office, whatever, or fill out an application for whatever position. We 99% qualified for the position, right? We are ADOS. It could be some non-ADOS blacks who go in who might be like 95% qualified. They ain't score as high as us, but they still qualified. Then you got some white people who maybe scored a 90. If they have a certain amount of positions, we gonna be the last ones to get them. Like they're gonna put all the white people first, and then they're like, okay, how many affirmative action spots do I have to fill out? Well, I gotta give out 3. Well, they don't pick us on purpose because they want to put people in there that they feel are barely qualified. So then when they fuck up, they could be like, see, we told y'all shouldn't be making us put these unqualified ass Negroes in here. As I say, they pick the least qualified of the qualified when it comes to us. Right. They don't pick the best, because what happens?
That'll show off.
What happens? Yeah. What happens when you start putting the 100? Exactly as we see now. The little boy, the little 9-year-old that just started some college or little Ivy League. Like when you start putting black excellence in these positions, and we've already seen it in a few cases.
They show you.
Well, damn, the company's more profitable than it's ever been. We making innovations like we've never made. Now the whole narrative that you have based your life on about how horrible we all is gone. So you can't let our best get in the position. That's why we don't have a whole lot of Fortune 500 company CEOs. You can't let black people be that great publicly. We can never recover from that. And that's their biggest fear is keeping us ADOS because we are the boogeyman. It doesn't matter what happens. In their mind, we always want payback for slavery. We are just waiting to put the shoe on the other foot. In their mind, don't matter how much humanity we've shown, and say we are the most human.
We just want to move on.
It doesn't matter what we do. They look at us in that light. Oh, we can't let these niggas get out of this bondage because it's going to be curtains for us.
Yeah. And just in honor of Veterans Day this week, that when you watch this episode, you'll see it was Veterans Day this week. In honor of Veterans Day, if you ever dispute any patriotism of any African American person, we are the ultimate patriots because we've actually done and built the railroad system, the infrastructure of this country,
inventions
for
too.
free.
Like we don't even talk about inventions
and as far as
refrigerated
and
truck.
Because of the military,
YouTuber,
right?
Everything.
And when
Snapchat,
we are. That's right.
For the example that I'm trying to give in honor of my father, who was a military veteran in the Army. He was actually, he was drafted to go into the Vietnam War from rural Georgia, and he came back to Jim Crow South. So he fought for a country that he had no right to enjoy the freedoms of. And so to all the military veterans, the black veterans that had to come back that actually got, the people that voluntarily go to the military, hats off to you, and I appreciate you. But the people that got drafted specifically, I want to talk to you right now. Thank you so much for what you have done and what you have given to this country, even though they have not given it back to you. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do and what I say and the stances that I have of being a descendant of slaves that actually had to fight for this country and risk their lives for this country on a daily basis and for nothing. Like, we still have not gotten, and when people talk about reparations and I hear people say, oh, them people ain't gonna give us no. Fuck that.
If you don't
put your foot down and get it in, like Jay Black is a Bernie Sanders supporter still, yes?
Of course.
Okay. And he's
I
talking
Bernie a bus last election.
Bernie is not a pro reparations person per se, but he believes that we should get some sort of education and let it be for free and have our student loans relieved, and that is not specifically for us.
Like I said about, what was the guy that was on Breakfast Club, Beto
O'Rourke. He's no longer in the race.
How are we expecting white people to give us reparations or to understand what the hell we
our
going
politicians?
Through? This is the thing.
But
they don't understand.
Is power concedes nothing without a demand. The people in Montgomery didn't expect them to just let them ride where they wanted on the bus. You gonna make them do it or you not? Yeah. That's my thing. I'm not going to kill the conversation because I know they're not going to do it out the goodness of their heart. But I'm trying to figure out and get my people on the same page. God damn it, we going to make them run us what they owe us.
And what do you guys think that the government got involved with the NFL boycott? I'm not saying to kill the conversation.
But I'm just saying, I'm not putting my faith in no white person to give me a black person reward.
You don't have to put faith in them.
If you saying he don't care, if you saying that, if you think it's a problem that I'm not voting for him because he don't care about reparations.
No. I was saying that's his idea. He's not going for
about him. I don't care about that. But my main focus, I'm not expecting a white man to cure a black person problem.
I am, because again, a debt is a debt, and you gonna run me what you owe me. I don't give a damn what the politics say. You gonna pay me in what you owe me, or you gonna pay me in blood, or you gonna pay me in damage. You gonna pay me in some kind of way. I'm taking my payment. So whether a building got to get burned down, whether crops got to burn,
and that's where I'm at. We have to do that.
But yes,
it's action with us. Like we can't. We keep crying like, bro, do this, and it's just like, bro, we have to take action. You can't ask a bully to stop bullying you.
But you're right. But this is how it works. It's always diplomacy first. It's always diplomacy first, because then when we get to that point where we turned up, like Brother Kamani was talking about, they don't have no excuse. We asked y'all not like Tupac said with the song. We gonna ask first. Hey, I'm hungry. Can you give me something to eat? Then the next time I'm banging on the door. Hey man, I'm hungry. The third time we coming in and we taking.
Busting. That's what Tupac said.
When is that?
This is the thing. The third time is the hardest one to get to because that's the point of no return.
As a community,
I
we set a limit.
That's an individual choice.
Nah, I don't think that's individual. Everybody got to be on the same page.
Yeah, no, but
Everybody has to be on
everybody
the same
has.
page. Like we
And
have
Kim,
to.
I'm gonna be honest with you. People like Pat, he's for real. But there are a lot of black people, who's not really ready. Kim, let's be honest. A lot of us are not ready. Our parents' generation, your generation, and I'm be real, your generation failed us. Just being completely honest. Because here's why. Because Kim, honestly, here's what happened. No, because Kim, honestly, here's what happened. Your generation was the first generation to finally get inside corporate America, to finally start making some money, move to the suburbs, and got comfortable.
The comfortable blacks started,
Right, that's that.
They didn't keep like even with my play sister, like she's not an activist in no sense of the word,
Right.
but in a certain sense, I have to look at her as that because she was part of the first, large group of black women entering the military. Like she was an ambassador. She did 20 years. Like she came in when women could first start getting on ships in the Navy. Like women used to not be able to get on ships. If you was in the Navy and the military, you was on land. Period.
The military used to be segregated.
So
too.
I mean, so I understand. Just like the lady, the first black officer, the Coast Guard woman. I can't think of her name right now, but she was like 103 years old, and she just passed recently. But like, people have been trendsetters in certain capacities, and it's just, we have to do some
don't
stuff.
blame our generation because let me tell you.
Hey, y'all racist.
We started off.
Talk to
Just
us,
take
Jay
the
Black.
blame.
We started off.
You gotta be held. No, it's Kim. Hey, before you even start, y'all talk about millennials so much, but people got to be held accountable. Y'all raised millennials, not just that. People don't talk about this. Your generation got comfortable.
Look. This is what it is. I'm gonna bring it in the middle.
I like the drug dealers in Texas.
No,
Y'all like the drug dealers in Texas.
like I say, I'm tail end. I'm like right at Gen X millennial. I'm right there at the border.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
an
you got
older,
both
more
sides.
mature millennial or
Don't
whatever.
make them talk about us.
But look. So I'm gonna be honest because again, I'm finna
He's
be
a part of us.
Okay, I'm finna be 34, never married, no kids.
Oh yeah, so
right?
he a millennial, man.
So
yeah.
okay, like I said, but I'm an 80. Like
He's only for one
it's
more
a difference.
year.
It's a difference
Yeah.
because
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm an 85 baby. Like I feel that like the difference in the generation between us and the millennials is like that 92, 93.
Yeah.
Something happened. The Barney babies, the Power Ranger kids, like they're different.
90s kids.
So this is what I say. I still grew up in a time when, like I said, I had to go outside. I had video games. I never
You
was
had
hungry.
both.
Like I had options, but I'm the oldest. I had responsibilities. I had to take care of other kids. So I had a sense of urgency and responsibility in my life. What happened with a lot of these millennials, and this is due to the
We
generation
bought y'all too
above
many
us,
video games.
It's y'all spoiled them.
Yeah.
They're ruined because it's like what happened. Pastor Kevin Cosby said this at the ADOS conference in Louisville. He said a man went to the preacher and he was bow-legged. And he said, "Preacher, what should I do to fix these bow legs?" And the preacher said, "Pray, ask God to fix your bow legs 5 times." He said, "Lord, please straighten my legs out." So the man said, "Well, I want it to work real good." So he said it 10 times. And then he was knock-kneed.
Because he overdid it. Yeah, he overdid
y'all
it.
generation
That's a good analogy.
overcompensated.
Yeah.
And these kids, because growing up, how y'all grew up so hard, they did everything they could to not have
Let me
their
tell you
kids
about-
grow
let
up
me-
in those
let me tell you
conditions,
about,
and their kids spoiled. They don't
first-
respect
Yeah.
authority.
Wait a minute.
That's what all this
know
privacy
how to be held
comes from.
accountable.
Don't tell my child nothing,
Yeah.
and I done live good, so
My
you can have
era-
these creature
I'm
comforts
gonna
and
tell you
luxuries.
what
real.
happened. What
That's
really
real.
happened
That's a
to
great
us
perspective.
is crack. That's what happened to
Yeah.
our generation.
Yeah.
But we also would, the
They
Rodney
had to,
King
they had to
thing.
calm down the progress from the civil
Yeah.
rights movement. So
Right.
you're
It was getting too
So
serious.
I mean, to in our defense, we were a part of.
Jay Black, like, I ain't trying to hear that, man.
we also started Fight the Power movement. We had a whole black hip hop scene until
Yeah,
y'all
but
got old
it-
enough to fuck it up.
It should have lasted.
That's what happened.
You hear this?
Until y'all got old enough to fuck it up.
It should have lasted longer, but again, when we talking about what
Kim
we're talking
angry,
about, the oppressor class saw something powerful
Yeah.
and had to figure out how
They had
to
to
nip
study
that
slow.
shit in the bud.
Yeah.
But I feel like our generation, we're getting
woke back up. We the ones who woke back up.
Because we kind of like, we don't like this.
Nah,
Yeah.
see, this is what I see about, like I say, for the 90s babies and below. I've had so many conversations with college kids here. Like I'm in the film industry, so I've had a whole lot of black empowerment conversations from 2011 to now with a lot of college kids. They don't see systemic racism the way that other generations see it. They don't think they feel like feel like the Stephen A. Smith. It ain't about racism, it's about money. I'm gonna get this bag, I'm gonna get my bread up, and I'm gonna be good. And I'm like, you're not. I'm like, I promise you, I promise you, you could be rich and you could still have your nigga moment. But if you don't think you're gonna have your nigga moment, don't call me when you have it. I'm gonna see it online. Don't worry, I'm gonna see it.
We'll be there.
Oprah.
Yeah.
And like I say, hers wasn't even here in America, but like she had to feel like shit for somebody like, I'm one of the richest black women in America. Who are you? Who the fuck are you? Why are you in my store? Like what?
Yeah.
Oprah,
Tyler Perry had his nigga moment here. Tyler Perry got pulled over. Yeah. Tyler Perry got pulled over, and the cop told him, "We know who you are, but don't forget where you at."
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
like,
Pat, man, last question too, because I already know I'm eventually. We gotta get out of here, but
Okay.
hey, this
We'll
conversation
be here
was
all
amazing.
day.
But
You gotta come back.
Yeah,
I'll
most
come
definitely.
back.
Pat, you said something that you worked in the film industry. Last week we had a great discussion. We were talking about the movie Harriet. My biggest plight with that is that yes, that happened, correct, but also there was a lot of things that weren't historically accurate. We had the character named Big Long who called black women
Big
bitches,
Long.
and he was
Did you
trying to chase
see
them
it?
down.
I have not seen
Right.
it yet.
But-
I've seen some of the worst parts of it.
Yeah.
Though.
So before we even talk about all of that, I just want to preface that with saying is that again, I get slavery happened, but we've had thousands, maybe millions of years of history that's not even spoken about. We have stories such as Hannibal, Mansa Musa, the Moors, all throughout Europe and Africa. We don't talk about any of that, but we constantly focus on slavery. So again, like we talk about boycotting movies like Harriet, but we don't have any alternatives to put our attention towards. So how do we start making films about other things as well instead of just slavery?
It takes this right here. It takes all of our black media pooling their resources. Because I know people that got scripts for all of that,
ready?
what you just said.
Yeah.
But people, we need the funding. And then that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's
that's what
like,
we said.
what platform is it going to be broadcast on? If you make a movie about Mansa Musa or a movie about Hannibal Barca and the Punic Wars and all that, who's going to show that? Anybody who can't show in America, if they can't show white victory over colored people, it's not going to get that kind of shine. And to talk about the Harriet movie, it upsets me that people would refuse to boycott Harriet as much propaganda as it had in it, but went out of their way to boycott Birth of a Nation because of something alleged that Nate Parker did.
That happened in '97.
Yeah, you went after this young dude who made a historically. This was a biopic.
Accurate to the
that
point.
Was accurate.
And look, Pat, he didn't add no fictional.
It was a reenaction as close as he could get it.
That's
real. But you didn't want that to, exactly. The Me Too movement and other anti-us movements killed that. But the Me Too movement pushed this forward. There's an organization here. It's a national organization called Girl Trek. I have a relationship with some of the local leaders here. Girl Trek is an organization that is all about black women's health. It's called Girl Trek because it stands for they preach women walking, being active, just the bare, just at the very minimum. Get outside and
I
move.
know why, because they have one in every city.
Yeah,
like
it's
they
Girl
have
Trek
one in
ATL.
Smyrna,
Is it? Yep.
And we go.
It's blue and orange. Is
they
the
go
logo.
for a walk.
Because
Like you walk
when
from.
we go to the hospital, they don't. I just went to the ER last week. It took them what, Caleb, 8 hours to figure out what's wrong with me. Because when I first came in, they're like, "Oh, you're fine."
And see, and the thing with that is, like I say, Black Lives Matter, Black Health matters too.
Yeah.
Like you can't be out here talking about Black Lives Matter and you're not taking care of yourself. You gotta, and that's my thing. It's like you gotta be on some I Am Legend shit. You gotta be on some of the First Purge shit. Like you have to understand, a lot of shit is about to hit a lot of fans right now. Yeah. The pot is boiling, and with the Trump impeachment going underway and these public hearings. You got economic downturn on the way, the housing crisis. Commercial real estate is already taking a hit, and residential real estate is about to follow it. Like, shit is about to get hot, and people need to understand The Purge could be very real. Handmaid's Tale could be very real. The Hunger Games can be very real if we allow that to happen. And my thing is, I'm gonna be prepared. All I know
and
is
you're gonna regret using your time on social media to show everybody what you ate instead of like trying to get together and form some kind of community.
Man.
You know.
And all this drinking, like people my age, the first thing when I went to the ER, they're like, "Well, how often do you drink?" And I'm like, "I don't drink." You know, last time I drank.
Well, this is the thing that the doctors do. The medical industry is have some scammy parts to it. And if you are overweight, they're going to blame it on that. Yeah. Immediately when you get there, you need to lose weight. If you are black, it's either you have high blood pressure or you're diabetic. You know, they toss a lot of things out the window immediately just from visual, just from looking at you. So we have to try to get that all together. I know we need to wrap it up. I could be here all day.
But did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. We got black people. We need to get together and build our own platforms, and that's how we're gonna do it.
That's our problem anyway. Like even when y'all was talking about like the inventions we made, we just gotta push our own narrative.
Yeah,
we can't.
It's so many unspoken stories.
Narrative,
right?
But wait. But just one more last thing to wrap it up, since we're talking about the NFL. Again, we have a black football league that we were trying to get off the ground and get formed.
But
we talk about that all the time.
This is the thing. This is the thing.
Talk about that all the time.
Yes, in the beginning, will it be as lucrative?
Not yet.
No, but anything that we are the culture. So after a few years, the NFL will be obsolete.
And Pat, speaking on that, quick story. The family that bought the Chicago Bears, they've owned it since day one. One of the first NFL teams. They bought it for $33. Now it's worth billions. So it takes time.
The NFL wasn't big when it started. Like you have to be willing, for the sake of ownership, and to have a platform where you are uncontrolled, unbought, and unbossed. If you want to have a league where black people can get out here and speak for black issues on the field. Freedom Football League.
Yeah. Freedom Football
Terrell
League.
Owens, Ricky Williams, all these black coaches. This is a black-owned league for black people. Now, we're not saying only black players can be in it, but you're going to have a certain
you're going to respect us.
And I think we need our own, the first thing we need, I think we need our own urban sports network. Like ESPN and NFL, like simple stuff.
Shout out to Terrell Thomas. Terrell, he just posted that.
Whole network.
Yeah,
shout out to Live Hip Hop Daily.
I need to know about that, but
it's
Live
things
Hip
like
Hop
Daily. Everybody subscribe to the channel.
Network,
There's an actual app that you can subscribe to. Live Hip Hop Daily is black owned. It's a black media source. We have your news shows. You have sports shows. You have
everything.
Anything that you're into. They even have a cereal show, honey. Okay, so no matter what you are into, you can find it on Live Hip Hop Daily. Make sure you download the app. We are going to wrap it up soon, and I have not even begun to tell you how much I want to continue to talk to him, but I can't.
I'll be back.
Yeah, Pat, he'll be back. Probably like at the end of the show, we can do a recap.
Definitely.
Make sure you guys follow us on CTD_ATL on Instagram. Continue the conversation. He's following us, and he will, if you need to ask him a question, tell them your Instagram.
Hey, Instagram, The Active Activist.
Yep.
Hey, THE_. There you go, just how you spell. The_active_activist.
And who are you wearing all orange for? Too, Pat, so they'll know that.
So my all orange, this is just my symbolic outfit. I wear this as I feel, I shouldn't be a prisoner in my own community. Anti-police brutality, pro-criminal justice reform, all that. I'm in solidarity with the inmates that shouldn't be locked up in the people.
Yes, free Rodney Reed.
Hey,
we only have like a week left. I know that they had a rally in Houston. I mean, in Austin yesterday, and apparently Greg Abbott was there.
A lot of senators just did something.
A whole bunch of even Lion Ted Cruz signed a letter to get it. So they caught a lot of traction. Oprah talked about it. So I'm anticipating. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to free Rodney Reed, or at least exonerate him. And they
definitely gonna postpone it, I believe.
Something's definitely gonna be done. Make sure you guys watch Cop Watch, because we talk about it
every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, 11 p.m. on BET, and we always review the show. We always talk about what happened. It gets into some really deep things. And again, shout out to Kim from Cop Watch New York. Shout out to what's his name?
Jose.
Shout out to City. Hawk, everybody. Big Hawk. Hawk is funny too. He's a monster out there in the streets. Make sure you guys hook up with your local community activists. What else? Make sure you follow us, and make sure you check out so the impeachment hearing is going to go public on Wednesday. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you stay informed. And we will talk about that next week, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
CTDATL.com. Check it out.